What's up, everybody? I am here with Plato. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the Marvels again, and I hate that we even have to talk about it again, but here we are, because the director has gone completely bonkers. I don't even know why. Director Nia DaCosta describes critics of woke Marvel as virulent and violent and racist and sexist and homophobic. Wow, like every name in the book. And that is just wild coming from this director, because when I watched the Marvels, I found it to be one of the least woke projects of the entire MCU. To see her come out and to say these things, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why. I saw the Marvels as more of a film that was generic and not really woke. It felt more to me like all these woke movies that came out before it were just setting it up. And then once they had their girl power movie, they decided, okay, so now that we've finished beating down on men constantly and making ourselves look empowered and strong, now we can finally take a step back and make this film that we've always wanted to make, and we can just make it a nice generic superhero movie without any of the woke ideology stuff in it, because we already have our female leads. That's how I looked at the Marvels, because, I mean, the film just really isn't that woke. If you consider woke Nick Fury taking a back seat where he's just kind of raising kittens and whatnot while the girls do all of the hard work, then I guess it could be considered woke, though I did not look at it that way. And I really did not see any bashing on any kind of men in the movie. It's just that it felt more like a girl power movie with the men taking a back seat. It was just bad, though. The movie was bad, but it wasn't bad because of that. It was bad because of the direction. It was bad because of the writing. And it was just like, it was a boring, generic movie. But let's read about it so that we can get a little bit more context. This is from Bounding Into Comics, by the way. The Marvels director, Nia DaCosta, recently shared her opinion that critics of woke Marvel are virulent and violent and racist and sexist and homophobic. Wow. DaCosta made her thoughts known during an interview with Variety's Angelique Jackson ahead of the film's opening weekend. The director was first asked if her use of the Beastie Boys Intergalactic in the film's trailer was a shot at critics of Brie Larson's acting. I honestly don't know if that's true, and I really do not care. She says that it wasn't intentional, and I actually believe her because of the things that she says next. She's like, it had nothing to do with Captain Marvel critics. It's the first time I've realized that those lines are in the song. I guess the lines were, well, now don't you tell me to smile. Yeah, that doesn't really matter to me. But I did see that she said horrible things right after, where she was like, there are pockets where you go because you're like, I'm a super fan. I want to exist in the space of just adoration, which includes civilized critique. DaCosta then added, then there are pockets that are really virulent and racist and sexist and homophobic and all those awful things, and I choose the side of the light. That's the part of fandom I'm most attracted to. I honestly do not think that it went woke. I just think that the Marvels failing at the box office is the result of them doing a bunch of woke movies to lead up to it. And by that time, audiences were just done with it. You really can't call people racist and misogynist and homophobic and whatever. You can't call them all of that when your movie bombed. Okay, because when your movie bombed, that is telling me, and that should tell you, that most people just didn't want to see it, women included. No one's entitled to go and see your movie, okay? But I know that some people gave you a chance. I even went to see the movie just because I was curious, okay? But there's no such thing as all these people coming out and being racist against the movie or being sexist against the movie, because women didn't go to see this movie either. And I've seen countless women speak out against this film, despite the fact that it's one of the least woke films out there. It's just a generically bad movie that is spawned from a history of woke movies that nobody liked, including Ant-Man 3, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel 1, and of course, her role in Endgame, which it was just, a woke-a-thon with that lady in that movie. It is what it is. And I honestly do not understand why directors are so immature like this, where it's just something that I would not have expected from Nia DaCosta, because despite the fact that the movie was bad, it wasn't the worst thing ever. And I had a lot of respect for Nia DaCosta at the time for not trying to push so much of an agenda. It really seemed like she was trying to make a movie. So it just sucks that she's coming out to say things like this. YouTuber Ryan Kinnell reacted to DaCosta's defamation, saying those fans, in large part, it's people that have legitimate criticisms of where the MCU has been going for the past several years. That's what we've seen. That is exactly what they do time after time. Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, if someone like Nia DaCosta will come out and say things like that when it's like her film isn't really even subject to be criticized for being woke. I mean, imagine what the directors and writers that did make those movies woke in the past feel about the fans right now. It's poison. Everything in Hollywood is poison. They're probably being told a bunch of horrible things about us. It says here, maybe calling individuals who used to be Marvel fans all kinds of nasty names is not a good marketing strategy long term. I also agree with that. I think that it's a complete waste of time. Iman Vellani is coming out and she's trying to encourage people to start a petition to make the Young Avengers movie happen, because if you did watch the Marvels, if you were one of the very few people who saw the movie, you will see a post-credit scene that shows X-Men, which was a dumb scene, and then that shows a teaser for the Young Avengers. Spoilers if you actually care. And it was done in the spirit of Nick Fury visiting Tony Stark's house, but it was Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan visiting Kate Bishop from the Disney Plus series Hawkeye. Yeah, if you're wanting people to go see the Young Avengers movie, this is just not the way to do it. Who would have expected Nia DaCosta to say something like this? I mean, it is always a chance, but it wasn't something that I thought was likely, and it just goes to show that, you know, the Hollywood world up there, it's just poison, and they have a completely different viewpoint of the fans from how we view ourselves. We view ourselves as people who actually care about Marvel, and we want the MCU to succeed without being influenced by Disney's DEI nonsense, and it just seems like whenever we do try to criticize it legitimately and bring nuance and balanced conversations to the table with these movies, which is something I did try to do in my review, which you can check out after this video if you like. I'll leave the link in the description. But whenever we try to do that, we get called these horrible names that absolutely do not add up in any way, shape, or form, and it's insulting, and it's stupid, and it's really gonna ensure that any Disney film that comes after this is just gonna bomb, including, but not limited to, the Young Avengers. It just seems like a complete waste of time to act like this. But that's just my viewpoint on this whole thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance to hit that like button and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Later. Meow, meow.